there's two on the end. That helps. Three of us. Just put those in a left.
Did you notice that we went into your place here? No? Yeah.
Picture of Ken. where you are, or where you will. Yeah, in that way, yeah. And he used to have me in place, and you were probably get rid of it. That's what it does. Yeah.
She had to hospital.
Then we go out to the job and what do we got this year? And they just go on, all their full jobs, and it's taking you off. And this and this, I'm not with them, but I reckon in here's your references and so that, oh yeah, yeah, you got the. They might put a sweet sometimes and go.
my privilege and honour to be here with you today as we honour the life of Pauline DICKSON. We come together to celebrate her journey, to share in our memories, and to say goodbye to a woman who left an indelible mark on all our hearts. Pauline was born on Friday the 27th of July 1934. Pauline brought 93 vibrant, love-filled years into this world. Her passing on Wednesday the 25th of December 2024 has left a space that can never be truly filled. But today we remember her not in sadness alone, but with gratitude for the life she shared with us. For the first reading, we're going to hear from Kristen with the poem The Dash.
The Dash by Pauline DICKSON. I read of a man that stood to speak at a friend's funeral. He referred to the dates from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and now only those that loved her knows what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? But you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of things they say about how you spent your dash?
Today we gather with the belief that every human life holds immense value, and that the truth, integrity, and hope that resides within each of us continue to endure. We honour Pauline's life as a unique and meaningful contribution to the ongoing story of humanity. A story that stretches far into the past and extends endlessly into the future. Pauline lived a life full of love, laughter, and purpose. A life uniquely her own. Now she has transitioned into the greater community of existence where all lives converge. It's impossible to fully capture the essence of a person, but in Pauline's case, the glimpses we were blessed to see told a story of a loving and caring woman. A warm soul who brought joy and connection wherever she went. Pauline had a knack for finding humour even in life's challenges, lifting the spirits of those around her with her quick wit and radiant smile. She was deeply rooted in her community, always ready with a helping hand or a kind word, and she made a difference in ways big and small. Her compassion and generosity left an imprint on so many lives, and her dedication to others was a reflection of the beautiful heart she carried. Today we honour Pauline's journey, the triumphs, the uncertainties, and the beautiful, simple moments that made her who she was. As she embarks on this next chapter of her existence, we wish her a safe passage, knowing she is at peace and free from pain. Whilst death has come to Pauline, as it will come to all of us, in moments like this, we're reminded of life's impermanence. But Pauline taught us that the true meaning of life isn't measured in years, it's found in the love we share, the connections we build, and the laughter we bring to one another's lives. Pauline's life was rich in all these ways. She leaves behind a legacy of love, friendship, and joy. A legacy that will continue in the hearts of all who knew her. Though her absence is truly felt, the memories of her warmth, her humour, and her unwavering care will forever be a source of comfort and inspiration. Grief is the price we pay for love, and the depth of our sorrow reflects the depth of the bonds we shared with Pauline. In her passing, we may find solace in knowing that her pain has ended and that she is now at peace. And though there is now a space that cannot be filled, we can honour her memory by holding on to the countless ways she enriched our lives. Pauline gave her love freely, and that love is her greatest gift to us. Today we celebrate her as a remarkable woman, a bright spirit, a treasured friend. She leaves behind a legacy of kindness, laughter and connection. A legacy that will live on in all of us. We're now going to pause to hear some reflections on Pauline's life. Firstly from Raiden, then we're going to hear some further tributes from Bill, Greg, in relation to their special tributes. So over to you, Raiden.
Hope you haven't changed that. Hi, I'm Raiden, Simon's cousin, Pauline's nephew, and I naively agreed to read out Simon's eulogy of his mum. It's interesting, we just heard that measure your life with the loved ones, but Pauline was lucky enough to live 95 years. 93, was it? 95. I'm not a detailed man. 93 years, so she had a lot of time to actually, make a lot of loved ones. And just the presence of all you here today reflects that. Before I started, Simon, I just want to go on over this 93 years. She outlived her father and her mother. It reminded me of a story when I went to a cardiologist, or my GP, and he wanted to get the family history. I said, well, my mother died of a heart disease. That's important, sister. Her father died of a heart disease. And he goes, crikey, you better get checked. Well, 2 years later, I actually had a stent. Luckily, Pauline's side of the family missed those genes. And, she lived a very fruitful life. So this is written in first person. So here's our eulogy from Simon. Wow, where to start? Mum, Grandma, Pauline, P1 or Chook, as she was known by. She was born in Kandos, just out of Lithgow, up in the mining areas up there, on the 27th of July 1931. I didn't, that's, wow. The second daughter of Esme and Kenneth Mackenzie, our grandparents. She grew up in Kandos and moved to North Mead, just out of Parramatta, North Parramatta there, in 1934. Lived in a beautiful house. Can I just relive some stuff? She lived in a beautiful sandstone home there. It's still there today. It's probably heritage listed. And our grandfather used to say that there's a bag of gold buried in that land somewhere. So I'd love to go back. I don't know whether he was taking the mickey out of me or not. But it's a beautiful home, and she lived there just out of Parramatta. She married Alan Dickson on the 20th of September 1952 and moved to Rudy Hill. That's the Las Vegas of Parramatta, of Sydney, if you don't know Rudy Hill. Wasn't in those days, mind you. And there she had two children, Christopher and Simon. She juggled working in a news agency and raising the family. I remember that this is Simon, growing up, and she would take us kids to different weekend sports and school concerts. This continued as her granddaughter had... take us to different sports and school. This continued as her granddaughter had sports and concerts. The news agency work and the love of meeting people proved pivotal in her life. In later life. After she left the news agency, Pauline and Alan purchased a milk run. Couldn't believe that, I thought news agency hours were bad. Going into a milk run in the local area, which they operated together with Alan doing the deliveries and Pauline taking care of the rest. It was amazing the stories they told of what they saw in the middle of the night. I don't think we'll share those ones. But I gather Pauline did. She didn't have a filter, did she? But also how far the sound would travel when they would argue about who got what milk, or the sound of the milk truck crashing through someone's front fence because Alan knocked the handbrake off when he jumped out. So Alan. After a few years they saw the milk run, but her passion was the news agency, so the search began, and she found a news agency for sale in a small village of Bungonia. And Pauline and Alan decided to purchase it, so the move was on. They packed up all their worldly possessions and headed south. And Bungonia, going from Rudy Hill to Bungonia, that's yeah. No wonder I never saw him again, because we're up in Sydney. Simon remembers coming home from school on the bus and passing a removalist truck engulfed in flames. And he remembers thinking to himself, poor bastards. Only to arrive home and discovered that it all contained their things. Hence, there was very few photos today of the young part of their family. So they lost all their possessions in the move to Bungonia. I never knew that, actually. We never talked about that in the family for some reason. They made many friends in Bungonia. Actually, who is from Bungonia here today? If they made the track down, that's great. So they made lots of friends, and where Pauline became involved in the local community and was instrumental in making the Highland Gathering what it is today. She modernised the agency to bring it up to modern standards, and the business went from strength to strength under her control. Progressive dinners were all the rage back then. Gosh, yeah, they were. And the poor bugger who had the dessert and, trying to get them out of the house, was always the unlucky one. So every week was a different location. Alan was just not that interested in the shop, so would just tell customers to bugger off if it was closing time. And again, that's so Alan. If you knew Alan, he was, they were quite opposite, Alan and Pauline. One was the introvert engineer, one was the outgoing arty type. Christopher passed away in 1985. Yeah, I remember that well. And this had a huge impact on the family. So Pauline kept herself even busier and to keep her mind off things. They kept the agency till about 1986 and sold it just before deregulation came into force. So basically that was when the big supermarkets got their grubby little hands. You had to add that, didn't you? It seemed that everyone had supermarkets these days. Got the grubby little hands on things like papers, magazines and cards. They searched around for another place to live and found a small property in Bungonia. How did they ever do that? Who knows?
Google Earth.
Was it on Google Earth? Sorry, Bungonians. I used to go there in the caves. It's a great place to hide bodies as well. Is that inappropriate? Alan was in heaven, and literally now. There was plenty of room for him to play trains. I don't know who's been on one of Alan's trains. That's fantastic. But the reality of the property soon set in, so trains took second place for a while until the house was moulded into a home. Pauline was always interested in art and painting, a love she had from the early 1950s, and I think this is where my mum met her husband in the arts area in Parramatta, where she was the founding member of the Parramatta Art Society. Wow. Many a local has one of her paintings in their home. Who has a painting of Pauline's? Oh my gosh! I thought my father was an artist, but Pauline, I think, actually he's probably got it in more homes than my father ever painted. He was a crazy guy. And she kept on, that love of painting still continued right to the very end. In September 2000, her only grandchild, Kristen, was born, where she was over the moon and would find any reason to visit or spoil her. Is that true?
Yeah.
She was an avid reader and had a network of people supplying books to read. She immersed herself in many of the local community groups and was soon involved in quilting group, painting and the local Progress Association. She was she was nominated and named Bungonia of the Year in 1997. Now there's a badge of honour, isn't it? My Auntie Pauline got Bungonia of the Year. In 2003, she received the Order of Australia Medal. Now that is recognition for her work to the community of Bungonia, and continued to work for the local community up until a few years ago, when she stepped back from community work. A keen cook, she regularly cooked for events at the hall, with many leftovers usually taken up to the local quarry. Were they the sausage rolls that we were supposed to have here today? Simon. There was one time there was a dead kangaroo in the dam. One phone call to the quarry and two guys turned up in a big truck, reversed into the dam and unloaded a boat, rowed out to the middle to retrieve the kangaroo, then disposed of it. Why would she worry about that? It had to go. On another time, Simon came out from Wingellow to visit, and upon arrival she was mowing the lawn covered in blood. Yeah, this is so Pauline. When quizzed, she said she fell through the glass laundry door, but decided the lawn needed mowing anyway. She managed to stay living in her home up until the 16th of December. That's fantastic. When she was admitted into Goulburn Hospital, where she passed on the 25th. Mum will always be remembered by her family and friends as an exceptionally caring and community-minded lady. I suppose the things I'll miss most will be her great sense of humour, a bit warped in hearing the same story 25 times. I've told you a million times not to exaggerate. Yeah, actually, Stephanie, my sister, and I visited Pauline only a couple of months ago. And she was joking that the next time I see Simon would be at a funeral, and that's exactly the case. But she did actually say she suggested some music that she wanted to be playing. I don't know if you remember it. Maybe we can play that later on, but it was inappropriate, which is totally Pauline. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you, Raiden. And picking on Bungonians is a great move. And I've got the unofficial mayor of Bungonia we'll be hearing from soon. So, be careful. So, next up we're going to hear from Bill.
My name's Bill Lobby. I was fortunate to have Pauline as a neighbour. It's a sad day today to be buried on Pauline. She was a very good friend to a lot of people in Bungonia, very good friend. I first met Pauline in the late 80s, not long after we'd purchased our property on the park. We've been having a little bit of trouble with one of the fences along the road in front of Pauline's place getting cut by someone who was backing his truck up and stealing 30 or 40 sheep at a time. So after one of those events, he wasn't smart enough to straighten his fence up either. A bit inconsiderate. But anyway, after one of those times, I went to visit Pauline with the policeman from the stock squad to see if she'd noticed anything. And that was the first time I'd met Pauline. I remember she and Alan were sitting on the veranda having morning tea, and that was the first time I had one of her slices. They were very nice. Anyway, Pauline was a great worker. started many of the events that became traditional in Bungonia. She either started them herself or some of the other people. And some of the things that come to mind are the wine and cheese nights. I think she started that with Carol Hoskins. She started the happy hour at the hall with that magnificent barbecue. Her background working in the news agency made her very, very good at budgeting, and she catered a lot, and we always made a big profit because she was so skillful in cooking and organising to a budget, and those profits all went into the reconstruction of the supper room. She was also, as the earlier speaker mentioned, passionate about art, and we have several of her paintings hanging up in the hallway. I guess now they'll really appreciate and value. But as I said, it's a sad day to be farewelling Pauline, but I also might add that Simon has performed very well in keeping her at home. She was not wanting to go to what she called the Twilight Village, and right up to the last day of her life, the last week of her life, she managed to hang in there at Bungonia, which we're all very happy about. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Now we're going to enter into a period of reflection, but before we do, the family has asked if there's anybody that wants to come forward and share something briefly, they're welcome to do so. And if not, we'll listen to a piece of music. And then if you want to and feel like coming forward and saying your final goodbyes, you can do so, or just do that quietly. Now, if you will look to the screens, we're going to watch a pictorial presentation, lovingly prepared by family and friends.
Pauline, Pauline, we thank you for being our friend. Pauline, 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 you cooked and catered your way to our hearts. You entertained and drew people together. You were loving and loyal. You were a true, honest, and open friend. You cared but little, did you complain? You were honored with an OM on the 26th January 2003 for your service to the community of Bungonia. You cared, you nurtured, we will all miss your fresh scones and jam. We will all miss your fresh sausage rolls. I told you to bake some before you left. You bugger, you left on Christmas night without fulfilling that order. Who will I be able to use my defibrillator on now? On now. You are out of pain and will watch over all of us. Well, those of us you loved, respected, and cherished, we saw you off on your journey. You slipped away without complaint. Safe journey, our friend. You will always be in our hearts.
There's a lady who's showing all the glitters is gold, and she's buying.
Marry her.
When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed. With a word, she can get what she came for. She's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure. 'Cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. soon. If we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason, and a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter.
Wow. Well done, Cal. I think he's used every effect possible in one slideshow. Well done. And he even sang the opening tune. As we think of Pauline's life and all that is meant to us, it may help to consider these words. They're going to be read to us by Simon.
This is a poem, She Is Gone, by David Hawkins. You can shed tears that she is gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or you can be full of love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her and only that she's gone, or you can cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back. You can do what she would do, smile, open your eyes, love and go on.
Thank you, Simon. Pauline's life was a testament to love, and I think we've seen and heard that today. Testament to devotion and enduring bonds of family. She was remembered most for always being there, steadfast and supportive through every moment of her family's lives. Whether it was cheering them on during milestones or offering comfort during challenges, Pauline's presence was a constant source of strength and reassurance. Her family will forever cherish the way she made their world feel safe and full of love. And oh, how they'll miss hearing those same stories. The ones she told time and time again, with the same enthusiasm, the same details, and that twinkle in her eye, as if it were the very first time she was sharing them. Those stories woven into the fabric of their lives were more than just memories. They were Pauline's way of reminding her family of where they came from and how much they meant to them. Pauline's warmth and devotion were gifts that shaped their family, leaving a legacy of love that will live on in their hearts. Her absence leaves a profound void, but her family and all who loved her, including those Bungonians, will carry forward her values, her stories, and the countless ways she enriched their lives. Though she is no longer here to tell those familiar tales, her voice will echo in the laughter, love, and cherished memories that her family hold dear. Pauline will be remembered not just for being a loving presence, but for being a storyteller, a cheerleader, and an anchor of love and stability. A role she embraced with endless care and devotion. To Simon and his family, we extend our deepest sympathies and our enduring support. May you find comfort in knowing how deeply Pauline was loved and how dearly she will be missed. Pauline Lorna Dickson, may you rest in peace. And I would now like to invite those that wish to join me in reciting the traditional version of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Before we proceed to the final part of today's service, Pauline's family sincerely thank you for being here today and invite you to join with them at the Goulburn Railway Bowling Club, which is down on Sloane Street, to continue sharing stories and have some refreshments. So that's the Goulburn Railway Bowling Club. Friends, the time has now come to say our final farewell to Pauline, as with the tenderness and reverence that are her due, we commit her to the elders. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, from which all life comes and to which all life in the end returns. Hereby may we highly resolve that while we live, we will strive with all our might to make our living of real worth. Thus, in the consciousness of work well done and a life well lived, death can have no sting. We pray that Pauline will now be forever at peace, free from the intensities of any illness, pain, or the troubles of this earthly existence. As we depart this place of peace and tranquility, let us do so with quietness of spirit as we now remember Pauline Lorna Dickson with the love and affection that are her due, secure in the knowledge that she is now truly and eternally at peace. We pray that Pauline has now found peace reunited with those who have gone before, secure in the prayers, the thoughts and memories of those who knew and loved her. And there was talk earlier about particular music. This could be one of those songs.
That's all, folks.
Joking about that Benny Hills.
Pauline, 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 we thank you for being our friend. Pauline, 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 you cooked and catered your way to our hearts. You entertained and drew people together. You were loving and loyal. You were a true, honest, and open friend. You cared but little, did you complain? You were honored with an OM on the 26th January 2003 for your service to the community of Bungonia. You cared, you nurtured, we will all miss your fresh scones and jam. We will all miss your fresh sausage roll.